Good evening and welcome to the Late Night Business. My name is Ian Dennis, and tonight I'm quite excited because we have an interesting conversation lined up. We're going to be addressing matters strategy. How exactly, as an entrepreneur, can you develop and actually just relook some of the strategies that we have? And the guest that I have tonight is a strategy expert that I'll be introducing shortly. Also, before I get to start, I'd like to let you know that we are here at the Capital Club, the place you need to be as an entrepreneur, because at the Capital Club, everything happens here. At the Capital Club, you not only have a huge network of entrepreneurs in and around the country, but we also have access to resources in Kenya. And even if you're traveling, you have access to some of the facilities around the globe. Is it New York? Is it Dubai? We believe as an entrepreneur, all these things are actually meant for you. And at the Capital Club, it makes it happen. So tonight, I'm very excited because the guest I have with me tonight was one of my professors at the Strathmore University. He's actually one of the leading, strategy experts. He's an author too. He has a book called Strategic Thinking, 10 Lessons from 100 Strategic Plans. And we're going to be addressing some of these particular aspects. The guest is none other than Dr. Fred Ogola. How are you doing?
Thank you very much, Ian.
Thanks so much for coming to the show.
Yes.
I know mostly you usually do a lot of political analysis these days, but I want guys to see another side of you, which is about strategy. But before we get to start off the show, what exactly are you most grateful for today?
Well, first of all, we are very grateful for the life we have. And of course, if you like in particular, of course, I'm grateful to my little girls growing up. And when I was leaving the house coming here, they say, bye, daddy. Mm-hmm. There's no such an inspiring thing when they say, bye, daddy, and the one says, come back with the tamo. So that sweet's coming back with it. I think that's very inspiring because they know that I'm going to work. Mm-hmm. They're seeing that daddy has to leave to work, then come back with something. I'm sure at the age of 1.5, 1 year, 7 months, that's something you must be grateful for.
Interesting. How old are they now?
Of course, my son is 5 years old. Then I have a daughter who is 1 year, 7 months. Then I have another daughter who is 8 months old.
Interesting.
So
you're trailblazing. I'm following behind.
Yeah, please, as fast as you can.
It's part of my strategic plan.
Yeah. Yes.
Before I just get to start, I know I want you just to go through your background before we get into the subject matter around strategy. I want you just to go through your background. You grew up in abject poverty, from what exactly I've read and from the little I know about you. Just take us through your background and how exactly is your upbringing, and how exactly did it inspire you to get to where you are right now. 3 questions in one.
Yeah, by the way, I grew up in Ugenya. I was born in Ugenya, in Sega Mission Hospital. Then we lived there for some time, and actually we came to settle in Katokia.
Ugenya is the one that borders almost Busia.
Yes.
Yes. You mentioned Sega, and I've just remembered Sega is there exactly. Yes. Yeah, there's a hospital there. Uh-huh.
Yes, my father was a catechist there.
Mm-hmm.
Then
your father is a catechist?
Was a catechist there. Then
yes.
Again, he got a job as a catechist in Otiende, Langata. Mm-hmm. So we moved from there to Kibera. Mm-hmm. So we're living in Katwekera. So what I saw in these 2 places, which I call my foundation, was that we're in serious poverty, but I didn't see my father begging, even when he was a catechist, asking for money. He believed in waking up and working very early in the morning. Mm-hmm. So he instilled in me that thing we call hard working. So imagine in Kibera, it can go either way. You can either become a boda, mm-hmm. You can become a manamba, you can do drugs, you can become a thief. Anything can go wrong. Mm-hmm. But he instilled in me that you have to work hard and earn your living. So I think that's what inspired me. And after that, again, this job got over here to go back again to Ugenya. And from Ugenya again, we picked the pieces up. And it was difficult to pay school fees because we're 11 children.
11.
So out of 11,
which number are you playing? That's a football team.
I was number 6.
You're number 6. Yes, defensive midfielder.
Yes. Because actually there's 5 in front and 5 behind. Yes. So I was right in the middle. Remember, there's something about being in the middle in the family. Do you know what is wrong with it?
What is it?
You tend to be ignored. Because when they start counting from top, you are number 6. Yeah. When they begin from the beginning, you are number 6. Mm-hmm. They rarely begin in the middle. Yeah. So you are always somewhere far from the beginning. Yeah, so when we're paying school fees, there was a chance that they would not start paying school fees for me. They have to ensure that their people are sorted first. And I remember one thing that I usually remember and laugh. Yeah. When they are chasing chicken for lunch, do you know what is your part? The leg and the intestines. Because everybody was assigned the part of a chicken. When your mother is now putting food on the table, you know, before my elder brother, elder sister, and the rest gets the biggest part, for you now, what is remaining, the intestine and the leg. So that's what it is. It was to grow up in a family. That was on Christmas Day, because chicken was eaten on Christmas only, with the chapati. So I remember that was a difficult thing, but there was inspiration here. My mother did something outstanding, because my father used to earn 1,500
per month.
Per month. So he used to give my mother all of the money. So
1,500 per month.
Yes.
How our parents survived?
Now you cannot even use that as fare.
Yeah,
it cannot be enough. Now people talk about cost of living. I think that's the time we're supposed to actually go on strike and do mandamano.
Yeah.
But the thing, my mother used to take this 1,500 and use it in businesses. She would buy some food, stuff, and resell them, and multiply this money. So she used to tell me, Fred, that money will be 6,000 at the end of the month.
Wow.
And that's how we're able to survive on a few things. So I also developed the business acumen. That's why you can see I have a few businesses. I don't want to mention them, but I have a few businesses. I have a school in Mombasa. I have a hospital. I run a consultancy company. And that's why I think that is a good thing to talk about the small businesses.
Yes.
How do you start a business? So I know how I began my first business. I will share about that.
Yes.
What was the strategy? But as a young boy, I had a sugarcane plantation. I had a sukuma wiki plantation. Then I
that's in Uganda?
Yes, when I was actually around 9, 11.
That was the
primary school.
The parental
a parental land.
Land, yes.
Yes, I just had a sugarcane plantation, a sukuma wiki plantation, and a small fish dam. So this fish pond, every 3 months, would harvest the fish, give to my mother, and my mother would sell. And give me part of it so I could buy for my things, my own things. Then I had the wife to my uncle was selling bananas in the school where we were studying, and selling sugarcane. So I used to give her my sugarcane and bananas at home. Then she sells them in the school and give me some money. So that's how I managed to pay my, let's say, my class 8, class 7. Then I was lucky to get a scholarship to St. Mary's Yala, so my school fees was fully paid for from there.
Interesting.
Even pocket money was given, uniform was bought. I used to live like a son of a minister.
Interesting.
And then from there, I tell people that I know, Ian, even you are pursuing education. If you put your head into education, you don't need to pay school fees, not even one bob. I never ever paid school fees until now. We are speaking here. I have 5 undergraduate degrees.
Yes.
I have 2 master degrees. I have 14 World Bank certifications. I have never paid any of the school fees.
And one of the interesting things that, why did you, because that's the thing about you, you have so many, I think 5 undergraduate, is it 3 masters and a PhD and all this. Why would you want to, why pursue all this? What exactly was and how did you pursue all this?
Well,
what is the motivation?
Well, I mean, even now I'm doing a law degree now, just because I'm trying to find legal need for my work. So the thing is actually it's an unfortunate situation why I have 5 undergraduate degrees. People think I have a diploma disease. No.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a priest before. So as a priest, you have to do a degree in theology,
yes,
a degree in philosophy, and a degree in psychology.
It's compulsory.
So those are compulsory.
Also, as a priest, you have to have 3 degrees.
Yes. No. Yeah, you have to, because you see, when you are interacting with people, you have to understand the philosophy of the wisdom to be a wise man. You have to be a wise man. That's why all priests are wise. Then, of course, theology, you have to understand the study of God. And also psychology, because you're going to deal with people of different categories. You have to understand psychologically, how do children grow. You have to understand psychology of women. No priest can actually counsel a family. People say, how can you counsel a family and you're not married? No, they have studied the women, not just women, but also men. But not just that, but also family psychology, but also community psychology. That's why they are all able actually to give a very good advice, even if they're not married. Like, for example, priest can tell you, please never quarrel a woman. They know that there is no need of quarreling with a woman. Women don't thrive when they are being quarreled. Women thrive when they are being inspired. When you inspire a woman, they live in self-fighting with you. That's why you see some men who are very peaceful, they have made their women become very successful, so that this woman does not drive the energy towards you. If you make your woman able to become an MD, she's suffering with balance sheet of a company, so she has little time even to fight you.
It's strategic.
But if you keep your woman home, she's waiting. When is he coming back?
Who are you with?
What is he doing? Where is he? The energy is towards you. So a woman must be engaged. Women are very intelligent, by the way. much more than an average man, women are more intelligent.
True.
So for that matter, if you keep an intelligent woman with high intelligence towards you, you are in trouble, my brother. They're evaluating every scorecard of you, nothing is working, you don't know how to dress, everything, you will be in trouble.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that's what helped me. But I also have to explain that my first business was in Mombasa. And it's good to explain this because when I went to Mombasa, how did I get...
that was after priesthood?
No, before priesthood.
So so that was after...
I finished high school in 1999. You know, I was cushioned by the scholarship. So I was thinking that life is perfect. You have scholarship, you have pocket money, you have uniform, everything, even shoes are being bought. So I was not sure, I was not seeing the poverty at home because actually I was blind to it. When I left high school, then I went home after finishing Form 4. I reached home and discovered that things are not easy because I even was giving out my uniform to people in school, not knowing that at home I don't have what to put on.
Yeah.
You have no shoe. I started walking barefoot. So I decided life was so hard. And I saw one day, after 3 nights, me and my mother and my father and one of my brothers slept hungry for 2 nights consecutively. You know what I did, Ian? I jumped at the back of this truck that came from, after taking fuel to Kampala, they passed by a Busia on the way to Mombasa.
Yes.
I jumped at the back of the truck. Then the truck brought us to Nairobi.
Yeah.
The next day, I jumped on the next truck to Mombasa. Then from there, I was sleeping in those corridors in Mombasa.
Yeah.
Then from there, you can't sleep for long. I came up with the idea of the business and I set up a school. And now from there...
How did you go about it? Because you didn't have any shilling.
Now this is important. We are a capital club. Many businesses think the problem is capital. According to me, it's not.
What's the problem?
Actually, many businesses, if you sit with an entrepreneur and ask them, their main problem is how to manage people and processes. Those 2 P's are more important than capital. Because without people, without processes, no one can even put money on you.
Yeah, there's that, but people need to be paid.
Yeah, but I'm saying, for sure.
Yes.
First of all, your first business, if you start a business where you are the one who has competence, whom are you paying? Yourself. So you can even start by paying yourself. Let me give an example. Which kind of business was most easy to begin? A school. Why is school? Because I can teach. I needed just a classroom and chalk and a blackboard. And that is why we talk about partnership. Have you heard about something called strategic partnership?
Yes.
You think about it big time when you are media, standard media group, it looks a big thing. It's a small thing.
Small,
I just found someone who was having what's called a madrasa in Mombasa, teaching these, let's say, Islamic classes. And they're using the resources from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And from there, it was lying idle. So I asked them, can I teach in this your classroom between 2 p.m. and 8? You told me, take for free. And from there, I only wanted a chalk and myself, and I begin a class.
So what are you teaching?
See, I began a school, nursery school. Actually, I just I began the school with 500 shillings as capital. The capital was for marketing. I went to town because I had known how to typesetting, because the Mayseller, they taught us how to use computer. In 1999, I went to town, typed out a brochure, then I was posting them on behind the door. That's a bit of a slum. A slum, that's why some people
Which slum were you staying then?
It's called Magongo Bokole. He used to call it Maisha, Magongo, Musho Maisha, meaning that after that, even there's no matatu. Musho Matatu, which means that after reach that stage, even there's no matatu that can enter. Life there is unbearable. So the bit of Islam is that there is no rules like, city council this. So even the school, you can begin around for 2 years without anyone even coming to inspect anything.
And they were paying school fees.
And they were paying school fees. And the school fees, I was working them in my pocket. Because there was no bank. I was 17 and a half years old. I had no idea. I could not open bank account. So the beauty of informal sector can actually help some business thrive. When people are telling us we need to take away all the slums, for me, I feel that slum have some function in this society. Without a slum, I would have never survived. If you threw me to New York and told him to begin a school, I could have never ever begun a school. But in Magongo Bokole, it was possible because one reason is that people agree on informalities. Even school fees, there's nothing like invoice. There's nothing like school fees structure. Mnakubaliana tu. There's a say that Mwalimu, so can I bring on Friday? Yes, bring on Friday. Then they bring you the money, you take. Then you write some in a piece of paper. They don't ask for receipt. So the informality itself is an opportunity. And now that you're a business expert, Do you know that regulation kills businesses?
Mm.
And now, why are Kenyans crying when Ruto comes to the Finance Act? Because he's formalizing what was informal. And that is the pain. So, enjoy the informality before formality comes, because that's how we manage to survive. So, with 500 shillings, I just had to type them and print and then photocopy 100 posters, put them in people's houses, wait for 10 days, people came and pay school fees, and then off to go. And you know, the issue which you need to know is what's about pricing. Because how do you price school fees? You have not in Mombasa, you have not done any business, you are just a Form 4 leaver or dropout if you like. So I just went to a nearby school called Bombu Primary, and I found out that in Bombu Primary was a public school. In this public school, before you come in, the head teacher wanted you to give him 2,000 shillings.
Yes.
This was not receipted. This was giving. But you see, school fees, you pay separately, which was 900 shillings. So I discovered that that was the only school around. If for you to enter, you must pay 2,000. I gave what's called admission fee. So for me, it was admission fee. You pay 2,000 to be admitted. Then you pay 900 for school fees in the term. Imagine after those 10 days when I did the announcement, 25 children came and paid admission fee. That day I never slept in the corridor.
And how much are you charging for school fees?
900 shillings.
So 900 shillings?
A term.
Wow.
Yes.
That term is 3 months.
Yes, it's 3 months, yes.
Interesting.
It's sustainable because I'm literally paying nothing. I have no rent to pay.
And they're still in the gate.
I'm the one teaching, so long as I'm in class, we are earning money.
Interesting.
Then I got my sister was also teaching another school in Portrees. She was not being at all. My sister, come, we teach together.
So you employed her.
That school now has 1,320 something pupils. It's sometimes the second best school in Mombasa.
Interesting.
With the capital of 500 shillings. What was important was to get the teachers and get the value proposition. What's value proposition? A value proposition is to address the unmet need. What was the unmet need? In Mombasa, when we went, all schools, children were speaking in Swahili to their parents, in school, on the road, in church. So we came up with a school where you must speak English. So imagine, Ian, if the school in Mombasa, in Bokole, Magongo, in Islam, and your child can say, "Good night, Daddy. I love you, Daddy." These ones were, let's say, yes, jaw-dropping moments for parents. So any child that was in a certain house, when this brother child says, "Good night, Mommy," and then when the children are going to school, we tell them we have to say bye to Mommy. Bye, Mommy. See you later, Mommy. Not even that English you are speaking a whole sentence, just those ones. Another parent watching a child saying, "Good night, Mommy. Tomorrow, that is my admission."
Interesting.
And the school expanded leaps and bounds. Of course, later, I was able to buy a plot, buy a building, build a proper school with all the facilities required, and register the school and the story for now.
Interesting. And there's something that you've mentioned there whereby you started off from zero, whereby you're sleeping in the street, you saw this particular idea, you exploited it. And that's where most entrepreneurs are. But the biggest challenge is now that exponential growth. Whereby you had 25 children, now you have 1,000. What are some of the strategies when you look back that you did that were right, that enabled you to get to where you are, that most entrepreneurs don't do it? Because I know most entrepreneurs, you start small and you remain in the small mindset and still maintain there. What did you do right? What are some of the strategies you put into place to enable you to get there?
Yeah, you see, Ian, I think that is even in this book here. Most entrepreneurs begin the business prepared for failure, but not prepared for success.
True.
That's why when they succeed in the first step, they remain there.
You're surprised.
Yeah, you see, however, remembered where you grew up, I don't know where you grew up, but there must have been a Mama Mboga who was selling vegetables, onions and tomatoes. And you go back 10 years later, they're just still selling onions, vegetables.
I know of them, yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
When they began, they said, if I fail, I'll look for another job. But they didn't know if they succeed, what they'll do. So that mentality is the mentality. World-class wealth begins with world-class thinking. That's it. So when you're thinking small, like for me, when I began, it was about survival. It was like I'm on the street, I'm sleeping on the street. I can't sleep here for long. I can't call my mother. There was no mobile phone. She does not even know whether I've eaten or not. So this we call entrepreneurship out of necessity. So that's a stage where you have necessity to become what? An entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Just like some people, you get fired at your place of work, then you begin a small business. Then before you realize now you have already been able to take care of your needs, now the issue is what next? So let me just explain the stages in business. There's a stage of business where you are just trying to sell to everybody, sell to the financials, sell to your customers, sell to your all stakeholders so that you get accepted, then the business will become a little bit stable. Then after the business comes stable where you can break even, you start realizing that this is not the stage to stay for longer. And this is a step which is critical because sometimes there are even couples where the husband does not believe that the wife can start a business. And then later, when she sees that now you are not asking him for more money to pump to the business, they start believing in you. So that's it's called a sales stage. It's called sales stage. The second stage after break-even is called the craftsmanship stage, whereby now you are receiving more revenue than invoices, which means that you are having a positive sum game, isn't it? Now, where do you go here? This stage is called crafting. Crafting here means that the business will outgrow you. Because now, as I said, I being as one teacher, you cannot teach. You are seeing parents in the office.
True, you can do
you are
everything.
in class 1, class 2, nursery. You have to find a way on which you structure the business. Where now the processes, systems, structures have to come and play. So that's when you have to have somebody, head of finance, for example, isn't it? But also you have to manage them, isn't it? You have to monitor them, head of operations.
Interesting.
Let me, for example, you begin a small restaurant. And you begin a restaurant, you are the one
I'll pause you there so that you can take a small commercial break. So you're in the second part, craftsmanship. So after the break, you're going to craft this particular conversation further. So I'll see you after the break.
Thank you.